There is absolutely no preparation. That's what I love about it. There's no homework. There's no editing. There's no marks to hit. There's nothing. It's my freedom. It's my primal scream. The most exciting thing, the best thing that I do in my career is stand up. If people always ask me, I'm a judge on a talent show. I've hosted game shows. I do voiceover. I act. They always say, if you could do one thing, what would you choose? It's stand up.
Your career spans some 40 years. I'm sorry to age you here, but
You're not aging me. It's happening even without your help.
do people still bring up some of the hits from the 80s and 90s when they see you out there? How much do they want to talk about it?
Older people do. But younger people, I mean, it's really interesting because that's what I consider myself, is a stand-up comic. And people will come up to me and say, I used to like when you were a stand-up, or do you still do comedy? So there's a whole plethora of folks that have no idea I even do it. And my career has always been fractured like that. Even when I started, I did a young comedian special, which blasted me off. And, I was selling out big numbers in theaters and arenas and things like that. Then I landed a show called St. Elsewhere, where Denzel Washington came out of. There was the audience that only watched me as a dramatic actor and had no idea I was the same guy that put a rubber glove on my head. And then I did Saturday morning, I did, Bobby's World. And there was young mothers and their kids who watched Bobby's World that didn't know I was the same guy that was on St. Elsewhere, and the same guy. And then the Deal or No Deal audience didn't know. So I've always had this fractured audience. Most people probably know me today from America's Got Talent, but don't know that I'm a stand-up.
But what is it then? Is it that AGT and Deal or No Deal were so huge that people forgot all the work you're doing Monday through Friday and the weekends and all the work you're doing touring?
I think generally now show business is incredibly siloed, in the sense that, whether even on music, you find a musician on TikTok that you love and they end up selling out, the arena. And I know that when I was your age, that if somebody was playing the arena or somebody was playing any main room in Las Vegas, whether I was a fan of theirs or not, I knew who they were. You didn't play a main room without knowing who they are. Today, you can enjoy and stream that person's music, that person's comedy, and that person's shows without somebody else knowing who they are, and they could sell out huge amounts of seats. So the people that come and see me do stand-up comedy sometimes and usually are not the same people that are tuning in each and every week to see.
We've got so many AGT acts who have made a name for themselves here in Las Vegas, who have now headlining shows, or whether it's the AGT All-Stars. Does it ever surprise you how big it's gotten? How big they've gotten?
And how big it's gotten, and how big it remains, and how it continues to spin off. I tell people, if you have an inkling of something, let us be the judge of whether it's worthy or not, because you don't even have to win to end up with your name on a billboard in Vegas and your own room, in Las Vegas. And as I drive down the Strip and look at all the signs, almost every hotel and every showroom has a connection in some way to AGT.
You mentioned don't bring the kids, but what else can people expect with the show at the Westgate?
The unexpected. I look at it like a giant party. I'm trying to be the center of attention. I don't know what happens. I love, obviously, after 40 some odd years in the business, I have a plethora of material to choose from, but I love when I'm taken off the path. I love when something happens in that room at that moment, whether it's a technical glitch, somebody walking in late, something happening, somebody yelling out. They become part of the show. My show is very interactive and improvisational.
Anything make you nervous on that stage anymore?
Yeah, being on that stage.
Still.
Be absolutely terrified, but that's what I love. I love, my analogy is I still love thrill rides. I look for the biggest, scariest roller coaster to always ride. And the reason I like it is because it seems like a near-death experience, that your adrenaline is going. If you were just on a straight track and there was a breeze going through your hair, well, if I had hair, but if there was a breeze going through your hair, it'd be boring and I'd never go on again. But if it's really scary and exciting, you wanna jump off the stratosphere. So the point is, that's what I like each and every night, is the ability to show up. And once somebody says, ladies and gentlemen, Howie Mandel, just to show up, and then the nerves and the adrenaline and the excitement begins. So that's my drug.
Joy. He's a joy.
He seemed
He's
pretty
an
cool.
absolute joy.
A ton of personality.
So hey, we talked about it. Don't bring your kids. You can't, if they're 16 and over, you can come to the show. 18 and over, if you want to go by yourself, and you don't have to bring a parent with you or any guardian with you. All right, you can catch Howie Mandel back on stage August 31st. They're at the International Theater at Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. Those tickets are on sale now. There's the website, westgatelasvegas.com.